Live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs, it's the First Dibs podcast with our hosts, John Deisty and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
We're in a jazz club tonight. We're early because it's FanFest this weekend, and we're going to try to sneak down and mingle with the peeps. Welcome to the First Dibs podcast, live inside Porsche, Colorado Springs.
Yes.
It's Friday, June 20th.
Yay.
That's wild, huh?
That is wild.
We're almost halfway through the year.
Yeah, halfway through the year, but I've been anticipating this weekend for months.
Mm-hmm. How are we doing?
Great.
Yeah? What are you excited about?
Well, I'm spending my third wind of energy
Yeah.
this week.
Is that the final?
It is the final.
The final wind?
Yeah, so tomorrow you're going to catch me at an all-time high or a crashing, burning down.
Okay, that sounds good.
Right? But anyway, yeah, no, it's everything's going really well. We had a fantastic event on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'll let you talk about that. You got called out for that today, which was pretty awesome. We'll discuss that a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's a super fun time, and John's headed to FanFest right after here, and I'm going home.
I think that's smart.
Yeah. But do we have some business that we can talk about?
That awesome 944 came in.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about it yet.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a sub 35,000 mile 1985 944 with sports seats,
Yeah.
sports suspension, and gold wheels.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's all you probably
All original
need to
car.
know at this point. The car was sold through Road Scholars most recently.
Yeah.
It started life, I think, up in Washington State or Oregon, and then went through a couple owners before.
Yeah. Serviced by Workshop 501.
Yep. But I think that's a car. I have never driven a great 944.
Okay.
And I think before we really get into talking about this one, I would like to take it at least around Motor City,
Sure.
like 2 laps, just to get a feel for that. So
Yeah.
we'll kind of reserve judgment
Yeah.
until then. But that thing will be here.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's good.
Other businessing,
We got a super cool Jeep today.
Jeep 392. And it is in the colors of a Christmas enchilada. And if you
That's
know what I
right.
mean by
Yeah.
Christmas, it means it gets the green salsa
Yeah.
and the red salsa.
That's right.
So the exterior is like a forest green, and the interior is this like pretty vibrant red. It's got an exhaust button that you push, and it makes noises. And it's a Jeep Wrangler with a flappy paddle gearbox.
That's right. It's
I
pretty cool.
don't think the other ones get flappy paddles.
I don't think so.
I don't think anybody cares what gear they're in
Right.
in the 4 or 6 cylinder variants.
Yeah. It is a cool Jeep.
It really is. That if I could have a few cars, a 392 would be among them.
Yeah,
I just think that's a really fun. They're supposed to be the best driving Wranglers. I think Wranglers are great. It makes a great sound, and you can take the top off.
I like that.
Amen. America, it's almost the 4th of July, right? We need to create a parade float with that thing.
Right.
It's the gun show.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that you say that the 392 would be the best driving Wrangler. I totally agree with that. And one of the reasons that comes to mind is that the Jeep Wranglers that I've been in before just seem pretty underpowered. And I believe that that's kind of a knock that's been against them for a while. We also got another trade-in on the opposite end of the 392 is we got a 112,000 mile Wrangler Sahara.
Yeah.
But it does have I believe it's a 2.4 liter turbocharged engine, which is actually an upgrade from
The Pentastar V6.
correct, the naturally aspirated, which that's either a 3 liter or 3.6.
3.6, I think.
3.6 liter. But
Welcome to Jeep Talk with John and
no
Justin.
doubt.
Yeah.
But no, I like this Jeep that came in today. It's pretty cool. And yeah, I think it makes some good noises, and I'm sure it drives extremely well. Just even the added weight has to help. that big giant V8
Maybe.
up front. But anyway, other Porsche cars come in. I'm trying to think. I mean, it's been another kind of, hectic week as far as with the big events. And
I took in a 2019 Cayenne S.
Oh, yeah.
58,000 miles.
Right.
Off-road package, I think is what it was called. So it's got the compass display.
Heated windshield.
It's got some extra underbody protection and side skirt protection that you can see. Air suspension in that one as well. It's the 434 horsepower turbocharged V6. I think that's the number.
Yeah. 2019.
2019, yep.
Yeah, kind of Biscay blue.
With slate gray and Mojave beige leather interior.
Full leather interior. No, that's a really nice car.
Yeah, it is good.
Ted told me he's looking for a Cayenne.
That'd be a good one.
It would be a good
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is what he currently has. It's actually, so let's see, a Cayenne Turbo back then would have been 500 horsepower.
Right.
So it's down a little on power, but it weighs probably 800 pounds less.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And modern.
Yeah, and has all of the off-roady things already.
He's not looking to get rid of the old Cayenne.
Well, good.
I don't think. I'm going to sell it to him for all the money.
Well, we paid all the money for it, so.
Because it's worth it.
It is. I mean, honestly, great car.
No, for sure. What? Any other business comes to mind? That's a tough one. I don't know. You've been selling cars.
Yep.
You had a hat trick the other day.
I did. 3 Cayenne deliveries.
Yeah, that's amazing.
1 up to the Denver airport.
That's right.
I mean, that's a day.
That is a day. That's a full day.
Thank goodness people were punctual and early.
Right.
Because that was going to be a little bit of a run. But yeah, Cayenne Turbo hybrid in the morning, and then 2 Cayenne S hybrids in the afternoon.
That's right. It just reminded me, as far as a long day, if you see the drivers pull up.
Oh, you're going to have to get up and go let them in?
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Where'd they go?
Denver. They're actually picking up a car that we'll talk about next week.
Suspense. We need a bump button.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Jazz Club.
Jazz Club. Jazz hands.
Talk about the event.
Yeah, so it was our 37th annual Pikes Peak Hill Climb drivers meeting. Biggest one yet.
I don't think it was the 37th annual, but they did mention it. I think it's the 14th year.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I was called upon to be present this year and sacrifice myself and my body for the good of our team.
That's right.
And
Thank
I did.
goodness.
And I did with a smile on my face.
Yes.
But I really have enjoyed past years where I've been able to take my day off, come in, and just enjoy the event.
Yeah.
And take credit for all of it without putting in any effort. Like, what is more me than that? Probably not too much. But it, I think in years past we had, I don't know. I escaped. And this year I got to help and move cars and, help put out the chairs. And I ordered pizza for everybody.
Yes.
Nobody eats on that day because it's just so busy. And I sold half a car that morning.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
We sold a car.
I sold the whole car, but I get credit for half of it. That's true. Thanks, Nancy.
Yeah.
5044.
Ask for John.
Call that plan 5044.
Right. Yeah.
But it's just a great event. We bring out, I think it used to be just Porsche people, but now we've got great relationships with more than just Porsche people.
Exactly.
So David Donner brought out his new Wolf. We were joking about him last week, but man, is that thing a missile.
That car is awesome.
Yeah. Lewis was doing some time calculations on it. And that one, I think, had the potential to crack 9 minutes. Based on its practice times. For those of you that aren't Pikes Peak Hill Climb aficionados, 10 minutes was kind of the benchmark for the longest time. I don't think anybody ever beat that on dirt. I think a 10:04 was the best time there. Since then, when it was fully paved, people cracked 10 minutes and then 9 minutes, and like an 8:15 or 8:20 somewhere in there was the record with a gas-powered car. And then Romain Dumas came out with his Volkswagen IDR and did a 7:57.
Yeah.
But like the number of people that have been under 10 minutes is a small list.
Small number.
9 minutes under that is 3 people, maybe something like that.
Has Donner ever been under 9 minutes?
No,
Never.
no. I don't think, because he drove our turbo.
Yeah.
And set the Time Attack 2 record with that car. That would have been in the 10-minute range. He did the 000 Turbo S and cracked 10 minutes in that.
Right.
But I don't believe he's ever been under 9. Our David Donahue in our car, or in the Brumos car, did a 9 minutes 18 seconds.
Wow.
And that's the fastest Porsche that's ever been up.
All right. Yeah.
So Lewis's calculations said Lonnie's car, Zwart's car, and our car could all potentially be faster than that. Right now, Lonnie's got the lead.
Yeah.
She's the fast one up there. So, maybe you could have a Porsche under 9 minutes as well.
Wow.
Romain in his
Mach-E.
1400 horsepower electric Mustang thing that spits out so much air out the back that it looks like it's got a rooster tail at 30 miles an hour. That Lewis's time calculation said like 8:10 to 8:15.
Really?
Is what he thinks that might be able to do. So, but the point is, all those people were here.
Yeah, right.
It was just
and
everybody.
more.
Yeah, exactly, and just super fun. Pastor Don came out with his LMP2 car.
Yep.
And
he's got new Active Aero
and a light show.
Right. Yeah. On the car.
It's got underbody glow.
Yeah.
It's bringing the Fast and Furious back. But the
danger to manifold.
Yeah, exactly. And then the floor falls off. But all these people are here, and they're all going to be downtown as well. But our event, call it 1,000 people.
Yeah.
FanFest, 20,000 people.
Yeah. Right.
So it's such a much more intimate experience. Like people are asking questions of the panelists. So that was pretty sweet. And our investment in a PA saved the party.
Right, it did. And that's where John got called out today by Mr. Zwart himself. Came in and said that, how did he describe you? What did he say this morning?
I don't know. I think he called me his Lord and Savior.
It was something like that. It was very close to it.
Yeah.
That was hysterical. And backstory for the people that weren't here, there was an issue with the PA system from the DJ that was here with reception to the microphone and static. And so from where the stage below the DJ, the microphones wouldn't work.
Yep.
And so Joe, to get the event started, had to stand in front of the DJ's table, which was up above everybody, like directly between the speakers, in order to get any sound to come out of the speakers whatsoever where you could hear and understand him. And so they were trying to think on their feet, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, anyway, I think Joe got a hold of you.
Yeah, Joe called me.
Yeah.
And I saw
Where's
him
your
up.
PA?
Yeah. He said, "Is your PA handy?" I said, "No, it's down at the motorcycle store."
Right.
He said, "Do you think you can get it?" I go, "Yep." And he goes, "Can you run?" And I go, "Yep." So I booked it down the hill, and then the motorcycle store was closed. They had just locked up. So I knocked on the door. They answered the door, and I said, "I need to get my PA. Does anyone know where it is?" They said, "No." And I said, "I think it's behind Bill's desk." Where's Bill's desk?
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, that's just over there in the back of the store." And if you've never been in the motorcycle store after hours, we should take a picture and post this next week. It's just crammed full of motorcycles.
Right. Yeah.
Enough room where a motorcycle person can get on their motorcycle and back it up.
Yeah.
But I'm not a motorcycle person. I'm about 50 pounds past a motorcycle person. Like, I might fit in a Harley store, but I don't fit in a sport bike store. Like, these are tiny people. They're like jockeys that can, like, they can move like a cat or a mouse amongst these big machines.
Right.
And all I'm thinking is, what does a domino effect look like on $30,000 worth of Ducatis?
Right.
You know. So we sneak all the way back, and it's tucked underneath the stairs behind a desk, all the way in the back where the BMWs are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay. And so I have to put the PA system over my head and suck in my dad bod as I'm like squishing through these bikes, weaving in and out. And we realized that there's a door that's open that I might be able to sneak through, but the bikes are so close together and there's a mirror hanging out. And like, I had to like do the wave with my abs to sneak them by the mirror. Meanwhile, the like 86-pound she's just dancing through this stuff and looking at me like, God, look at this fatty. So anyway, then I ran it up the hill. We got it set up, and we were able to go on the show. And I opened up the microphones and said to Joe, I said, you know, I hope these things are charged. And because I didn't remember how they worked, if they were AA batteries or if they were USB or what they were.
Batteries.
But
that's why there's all those batteries in the case. Yeah.
So anyway, moral of the story is always have a backup PA.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Right? It worked fantastic.
Yeah. It was we need a bigger one.
Yeah, we need a more powerful one.
I think we need like...
So we're going to sell
1,500 to 2,000 watts.
So we'll sell the current PA to the Power Sports store.
Yep.
We'll
go
upgrade
buy
ours.
All right, good plan. Okay.
But no, it worked.
I can't believe, you know, for a $3,500 PA setup, that worked pretty good.
So, yeah, no, it worked amazing. Jeff Zwart had his own microphone and then passed around the secondary one. And then even Joe had a microphone where he was out in the middle of the audience.
Yeah.
You know, allowing people to ask questions, right? I thought, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like this, I'm so happy this
technology is cool. And
cool.
if you've got any high school seniors that are graduating and you can't think of what to buy them as like a graduation gift, PA system.
Mobile PA system.
Yes. They will be the most popular kid in their dorm.
Yeah. It's quite useful.
Oh, it's the best thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should totally. We set that up for a weekend, like a random weekend. I remember the one time just to.
Yeah.
And I think John had the idea to where leaving an iPad kind of mounted to one of our wheel stands, and people could choose their song selection.
Yeah. You can. I think you can set up like the Apple Music shared thing.
Oh, sure.
Where maybe we could put up a QR code and people could just load up Booty Man. Right?
Yeah. Or
I don't know what. I don't think we have a commercial license for our music. I don't know that you can play Apple Music commercially.
Are we selling it? Like, how does that work?
It doesn't matter. If you're playing it in a business space, you have to have a different thing. Like at our spa, we have to have Pandora Business, and the license fee is different than it would be for the personal. So we'll have to look into that. But
they charge you much more.
it's not that much more, but it's more. Yeah. It's not free.
Yeah, it's not free. That's for sure. Yep. Well, anyway, so the event, the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Drivers Meet and Greet, was another huge success.
Yep, I think it was good.
Thank you so much to everybody that came down, that listens and watches the podcast. It was really cool, to see the people here, and it's just another one of those, testimonies to where we have the coolest, most fun, best clients in the band.
Yeah, we really do.
Anyway, they keep proving it to us, and
we need more parking
every day. We do need more parking. Should tear down that building over there and buy it. So, but that's part of the adventure, and the people that have been down before for this event, they know they got to get here early to find some parking spaces. It all worked out.
Yep.
It all worked out great.
Thanks to Lewis, too, for coming down and hanging out and running around.
Lewis, yeah, thank you very much, Lewis, for helping out. No, that was That's huge, right? You don't understand that yet because you're the guy doing all the running around. But no, the stuff that you were helping me out with.
Just going to get keys.
Oh my gosh!
Like when
shutting all the cars down.
The first step, and Patrick and Toby really kind of took the lead on emptying the lot. So all of the cars got put.
And Toprak?
Yep. And Pat.
Yeah, and Pat.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Pat man.
So that's the first step, is get everything out of here. And then everything got power washed.
Yep.
Like the ground.
Yeah.
And the railings all got power washed.
Chris. Yeah, Chris from service was hand scrubbing the railing stuff. Yep.
So we do that. Then we set up the stage and the chairs and move all the cars in and out and blah, 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 blah. But then the next day we had to put everything back.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Like moving everything out is one thing, because the keys are near the building.
Right.
Where the car is. And the car has a number, the key has a number, and there's a box that's locked up that has a number where the key is hanging.
Yep.
And so it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
But when, that car is now down there and that car is back there and those 3 cars are behind the service department. Now it is.
And all the keys are in one box.
Yes, they are in one brown box.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. That part of it is difficult for sure. However, I do think that putting our lot back together is easier and faster than taking it apart. So, and the reason that I think that is because taking it down, is where are we going to put all of it?
Yep.
There's a lot of shuffling and trying to figure that out. I know where it's got to go when it's coming back.
Okay.
Right. So,
fair enough.
Yeah. No, but thank you, John, for coming in on Wednesday on your day off to help out with that. Obviously made a huge difference. And then thank you again for yesterday, because it seemed like it went back together.
Yeah, I think
fairly simple.
I think everybody was on deck for it and did it.
Yeah. And inventory looks great.
I get a 4-day weekend.
That's right, because you won.
Yeah.
What'd you win?
I get to go to the track experience at Barber Motorsport Park, the Porsche track experience, and learn how to drive.
Okay.
So I'm pretty excited for it.
You should be.
Yeah.
Because last year is when you did the Dirtfish.
Yes. Yep. We went to Dirtfish, and this year we get to go to Barber.
And how did you win this?
Because I'm the best. I sold the most cars last year.
John was our top salesperson.
Yep.
Last year, so 2 years in a row. So you got to do Dirtfish the first year, and now you're doing the Barber Motorsports Park. This year, who's going with you?
Alfred. Yep. No, I'm really excited for that.
For sure.
It'll be a fun trip.
Yeah, Alfred, incredibly deserving guy. He's doing hill climb stuff. He's working with Fred Veach. He's doing is it a 72?
Yep.
911 is what Fred is driving. Exhibition class, I think is what he's in. But yeah, no, Alfred is he's our main classic guy here, but he's the one where in the shop he'll be working on a 356, like tuning carburetors or rebuilding or restoring a car, and then on the downtime of that he's updating Taycans, servicing the fully electric, brand new stuff. And I mean, holy moly, what a knowledge base, anyway. But yeah, the work ethic and the effort that Alfred puts into it. So I think he's extremely deserving of this.
I just noticed these cones behind us.
Yeah, I put those up.
Are they going to tell a story, or are we just blocking off parking?
We're just under construction.
All right,
but we're open.
Cool. Who's pulling in here?
Oh, it might be our drivers.
Yeah, look at that thing.
Is it a
GTS Targa?
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah, look at that.
Slate gray and chalk interior.
Ooh, you can see it rolling in. They're wondering. They're like, "Oh my God, please tell me someone's still here."
Yeah. Where is he parking? Right,
we'll wait for him to come to the door.
Yep.
So anyway, so that'll be fun for you.
Yeah.
So you're out of the office Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. For people that are looking for you. Well, good for you. Take pictures.
Yep.
We can
I think
talk
we get
about
a
that.
video.
Yeah.
Of our lap at the end. So
yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna try to. I gotta swear like a sailor. I gotta make it fun.
You got to make sure that yes, that you get it. Please ask if it doesn't come up, if it's not totally obvious, ask for a hot lap before you leave.
Yeah, so I can scream.
I mean, you don't have to scream necessarily, but I think that's what really, for at least the people that go visit the school, that's what really brings it kind of all together, for them, is because, yes, I mean, you're going to spend some time there, and when you first get there, it's like, what am I doing? And why am I getting yelled at all the time? And then by the time that you're done, thinking like, oh, yeah, I got this, right? I picked up a lot, which you did. You pick up, you learn a lot, and you start thinking, man, I'm actually pretty good at this. And then you go on a hot lap.
Yeah.
And you realize,
nope,
I don't know anything.
Don't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
So I think the hot lap is really what ties it all together. That just with practice and experience and you can be better at whatever. So, or maybe it's a lesson. There's always somebody better.
That's true.
I learned that snowboarding. There's always somebody better. Gosh. Well, cool. I'm excited for you to do that. I've been to Barber a number of times, doing different launch events over the several years. Never the sport driving school, though. I never got to do that. Just the track. So,
well, if I win next time, I will send you in my stead.
I don't know that that's up to you, but
well, I know. But if it is, if I win the prize,
right,
I will defer.
I'm watching for the old guys in the camera.
All right, good. They're looking around.
I saw that we have someone that Stephen H.
Yeah, we got a question.
Yeah.
What 3 Porsche GT cars are seen as the most influential by enthusiasts, and what model started the GT frenzy among non-enthusiasts? So, I think I'm going to open up the GT part of that question to include RS cars, like the 73 Carrera RS.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the 964 and 993 RSs.
Okay.
And I think the 73 RS has got to be among the most influential.
For sure.
Just because it was so early and it was such a hit. They had planned on only making 500 of them and thought they would struggle to do that. And they ended up selling like 1,422 or some silly number. They ended up doing 3 runs of almost 500 each.
Right.
And I think that kind of set the tone and tipped the fact that something that was kind of race-inspired but street-driven was viable.
Yeah.
From there, influential, I think maybe 996 GT3 RS, because it was the first one that Preuninger got his hands on.
Was it the RS that was his first one? Or
the 9962 RS was his first foray into it. And maybe that's not that the car itself was that influential, but it was the start of the reign of the guy that has been the last 20 years of this project.
Yeah, right.
Also, GT3 RS 4-liter.
Yes. I like that.
Yeah. Which, again, I don't know if it's influential or if it's just badass.
Yeah, right.
Because, you could almost say it wasn't influential because they made that and then they kind of pivoted to PDK only.
Right.
So it was...
You're going to have to carry this conversation for a minute.
I'll just keep talking with myself and pretend like you're there.
Right.
So those are my thoughts on the influential GT3s. And then I think the one that really kind of kicked off more of the mainstream love of them was probably the 991 RS. Lava orange with Pat Dempsey driving it with Jay Leno. The ultraviolet color. I think it really probably took the RS cars and made them much more mainstream viable. I think there's probably a lot of people that thought the earlier cars were too harsh and maybe the clutches were too heavy, and they were too stiff, and you had to know how to drive a manual to be able to do it, where the 991 generation really kind of just took all of that out, and they're a pretty compliant ride. They're not, they're stiffer than a normal 911, but I don't think they're even as bad as like an M3 in terms of ride quality. And yeah, I think those really kind of opened it up to, still enthusiasts, but not the traditional like classic Porsche enthusiast. I think it opened the door a little bit more. I had a discouraging recent experience on my recent purchase. Do you guys sell out of state often? Scott, yes, we do sell out of state all the time. If you want to talk about it on here, let's do it. Otherwise, feel free to text me. My number is 612-961-2381. I'm happy to chat with you in person too. But yeah, I think that's probably a pretty fair thought on the GT3 RS being kind of the one that brought everything to the masses. If you look at production numbers, I think that probably bears out too. 996 was kind of the so if we look at the range of being the 73 Carrera RS, from there they did a very limited number of SC RSs. Then they did the Carrera Club Sports, I think in 87, 88, 89, somewhere in there. Those were ultra limited production. 964 generation, those cars ran from 89 through 94. They built an RS version of that, which were super cool cars, but those never officially came into the States. They made a car called the RS America, which I think is awesome, but is kind of regarded pretty widely as not being a true RS car. 993 RSs as well, not officially brought to the States. And then with the 996 generation is kind of the first time that the GT name, well, the GT3 name at least, started and was available in the States, starting with the second generation of those cars. But my thoughts went away. As you're going through, you kind of, there were a bunch of the 73s, but then nobody thought Americans would buy them. So the number and the production of cars and the cars that came to the U.S. really dropped. And then with the 996, it started to be reintroduced. 997, there were a few more. And then 991 generation, I think it's, a huge success story for Porsche and the true, the hardcore driving enthusiast car, the sharp one, not the, not that a Carrera is not sharp, but it's just, they're different. There's a different ethos and a different mentality, I think, and you get a lot more noise in the GT cars, and that's something that maybe the market at large, maybe that's not right for the market at large, and for that to still have been a success for Porsche is pretty cool. So I think I answered a lot of questions there, Justin. I don't know. I kind of blacked out there for a minute. Remember that scene from Old School when he debates the Raging Cajun?
Yes.
And he just crushes it?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just kind of blacked out there for a minute. I don't know what I said. But it totally made sense, and you can put your money on it.
Okay. All right. I'll go with it.
Mm-hmm. I don't need, you can listen. You can listen. I don't need to recap it for you and the people that are on the show.
Right.
But I think let's give it 2 more minutes.
Okay.
And then we're going to hit stop because it's Fan Fest and we're going to get out of here. And then we'll come back solid next week with some test drive, 944 test drive experience. Mm-hmm. What else should we overpromise for next week? In-car video from John on the Barber racetrack.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think we'll get some of that.
Yep.
Yep. And
maybe we could do the whole start me up thing again.
Oh, start me up. That sounds fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good plan.
Yeah, we got some cool, fun cars right now that would be interesting for people to hear.
Yeah.
But I am super curious. Which model started the GT car frenzy among non-enthusiasts? What did you go with there?
I said it was the 991 GT3 RS.
Okay.
And I think the 991 GT3 maybe started it, but the 993 RS really just kind of that was a moonshot and really brought the power of the RS to the people. Where if you wanted a 4-liter or a 997.238 RS, you had to really know how to drive.
Yeah.
Like heavy clutch, very notchy shifter. That was a lot of car.
Yeah.
Whereas a 991 RS, you could drive that to go get groceries.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't take it past 4,000 RPM, it's not going to scare anybody.
Yeah, right.
It's just you can use it as a car.
Yeah.
So,
I'm assuming you answered Scott's question.
yeah.
Do you guys sell out of the state often?
Yep. I gave him my phone number. Told him to get in my DMs.
Slip it in my DMs.
Slip it in my DMs. Yeah. And I also said we could address it here on the air.
I don't know what the...
I don't either, but
Yeah.
if it's a problem with us, let's deal with it.
Yeah, right.
And dealing with it on air, well,
Yeah.
hey, it's going to come out eventually. And if it's not a problem with us, but yeah, anyway, we'll be
good.
happy to figure that out.
No, it's awesome. So I'm excited. I think this has been a good show.
Yeah, you were here for half of it.
That's right.
That was good.
The car that just arrived is beautiful.
Oh,
we
good.
will talk about it next week for sure. That's a really, really neat car. And even the guys that dropped it off, they're a ton of fun.
Yeah, they're great.
I like Steven's question. Steven, you always got good questions, buddy. I really appreciate you asking that stuff. And then also for Steven, you got some competition. So Chris, there was a gentleman that stopped by that also listens. He doesn't. I don't think he listens live. I don't think he's got the schedule that allows for that. But he also brought up the 944 that we mentioned, and he wants some information on it. So now that it's here, we need to get that on video.
We got to get a picture of the tires.
Yes.
God, those are good.
Yeah, they're the appropriate tires for the car.
Those look great.
So I know there's some people that are interested in the 944 that just got here, so we'll certainly get more going on that. No, the GT Frenzy, that's pretty cool. I like that. And then, yes, Scott, great question. Do we sell out of state often? Yes.
Yep.
Every day. Every day. So, you got anything else before you want to go to FanFest?
No, I want to go to bed.
Good.
But I'm going to go to FanFest first.
Yeah, well, I'm headed home,
Yep.
going to bed. So
Okay.
I will see you tomorrow. I will see everybody else that watches next Friday evening, I suppose, after John gets back.
Oh, we might be on tomorrow.
Oh, we might.
So if you're sitting around, sorry for peeking the mics there. I got really excited.
Yeah.
But we might have a special guest tomorrow if her schedule allows.
Yeah.
And if not, that's okay too.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a free show.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe we could even get Michelle Mouton
That'd be great.
to hop on the show tomorrow. So anyway, no overpromising here.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
No.
All right.
I've had a good week.
Yeah.
Thank you
great
guys
week.
for dealing with our early and short show.
Yes.
We appreciate all of you listening and commenting and all of the support on this. It makes it really fun.
Yeah,
So,
very much so. All right. So for the First Dib podcast from inside Porsche Colorado Springs, I'm Justin. That's John.